Hi everybody. I wanted to make a quick video that goes over what we're doing this week. So we're in week 5, and this week you're going to draft your first draft of your first essay. So if I click on weekly folders here and scroll down, we can click on week 5. And so you can see the learning goals for this week are to learn about coding effectively, to draft your first essay, and to peer review a classmate's essay. So this week the due dates are a little bit different. So usually we only have work due on Sunday, but this week I'm asking you to submit a draft of essay 1 to the discussion board by Thursday, and then conduct a peer review on a classmate's essay by Sunday. And so the way that you're going to complete this unit is you're going to watch the overview video that I'm making right now, as well as the Coding Effectively video. The Coding Effectively video is so important, not just for this essay, but for your essays going forward and for all of the writing that you're going to do in college. So really, I can't recommend highly enough that you watch it. Then I'm going to ask that you read the essay prompt and then submit your draft to the discussion board by Thursday, and read and evaluate 2 of your classmates' essays by Sunday. Okay, so then on the next page is the mini lectures, and this overview will be here, and the art of quoting is there, so watch those. And then the next thing I want you to do is review the prompt for the close reading essay. So you can see this is due March 9th. The final draft is due March 9th. You can see there's a place to upload your essay. You're not going to use this to submit your essay until March 9th. So this week you're not submitting anything here. Rather, you're going to submit your draft to the discussion board. So this is here purely for you to be able to review the prompt if you haven't yet. And I want to say a few words about this essay before we move on to the next thing. So here you can read a bit more about a close reading, about what a close reading is. So a close reading is an analysis of a short passage of literature. The objective, the focus here is really to use the details in the short passage from a longer work to make an argument about its meaning. So this is not an essay where you're going to be grabbing parts of the poem from all different parts. I really want you to dig down into the ways that language is working in the couple of lines that you choose to analyze. So I want you to put the 2 to 4 lines of the poem that you're going to be focusing on at the top of your essay. And I don't really want you to refer to any other parts of the essay. You remember that language operates differently in poetry than it does in other types of writing. And for that reason, it's a really good opportunity to practice your skills of analysis and of literary analysis. And that's why we start with this close reading, because I really want you to just focus on the skills of literary analysis, and close readings are really that distilled. So think of yourself as answering 3 related questions. First, how does this passage fit into the work as a whole? Second, what is the meaning of this passage? And third, how does this passage achieve its meaning? And the way that it achieves its meaning is through the details. So don't just tell me that there's repetition, and the repetition says that June Jordan is not going to allow society to define her. Tell me what word is repeated, what that does to the experience of reading the poem, or what that means. What does she mean by wrong? Wrong in what sense? Who is wrong? Is she trying to flip the script on the word wrong? Like why that word? And then how does that relate to the meaning? So here are some things to keep in mind, just language is tricky, as I said, focus on 2 to 4 lines. Also look back at your notes and on the videos that I created. In particular, look at the introduction to reading poetry, look at the from observation to analysis, and the how to quote effectively. You'll want to use those strategies that I've laid out there to annotate and analyze the lines that you're writing about. When I say literary analysis, what I mean by that is laid out in those videos. So go back, check them out, and practice that kind of writing. You should also refer, there's a section in the course menu for videos and instructions. There you can find videos about MLA formatting and in-text citation and the works cited page. Check that out because that is part of what you're going to be evaluated on. I assume that you know that from last semester in English 110, but there are review videos that you can see there. Okay, so here is a close reading checklist. These are ways into your close reading. So look for strangeness, anything that is weird where language is not operating the way that you would expect it to. Look for patterns, for word choice, for rhyme scheme, places where there's like something interesting like enjambment, where the lines are split over multiple lines. Look for the line shape, like anything you can sort of comment on, and then think about how those elements relate to or produce a particular meaning. Remember that when you introduce an author, you use their first and last name the first time that you reference them, and then when you use their name afterward, you only use the last name. Be as specific as possible. Don't say that the author uses diction. Say what kind of diction specifically and what it does, and give an example, i.e. Whitman's use of exclamation marks, that's a celebratory tone. Remember that you refer to whoever is speaking, the person that is speaking in a poem, as the speaker, not the poet. We keep those separate because the poet isn't always necessarily speaking for themselves. A lot of times they are imagining a character or embellishing on their own experiences, and you want to make sure to keep that distinction, that difference between the author and the character that is acting out the poem. Okay, I give you a sample outline that includes what I want to see in your introduction, what I want to see in your body paragraphs, what I want to see in your conclusion. Okay, so that's the essay. I want you to read that carefully. Make sure that you understand all of it. Ask me any questions if you don't. Then the next thing you're going to do is I'm giving you a couple example essays. So if you click on this link, there are 2 student essays from previous semesters that I am providing for you. These are examples of successful essays. And they were not perfect, but they are really strong. And I think it can be really helpful for you to look at successful examples. So I'm providing you 2 of those. So take a look at those. And then the last thing you're going to do is the peer review. So this is a little bit more structured than the peer review you did last week for your introduction, and it's because it's for the whole essay. So by Thursday, you're going to submit a draft of your essay. By Sunday, you should give feedback to 2 of your classmates. Choose classmates who do not have any feedback yet. And I've given you the criteria that I'm going to be using when I evaluate your essay. So I'm looking for the fact that you are writing clearly and coherently, that you're focusing on 2 to 4 lines of poetry, that the body paragraphs are organized logically, that you've got a thesis in your introduction, that your analysis is sufficiently deep, you're unpacking all of the ideas that you are proposing. You are integrating your textual evidence effectively. You've got the use of literary terminology down. You're engaging with the prompt requirements. You are writing clearly, and you are writing originally, and that the overall impact is strong. So I'm giving you these criteria so that you can use them to evaluate each other's essays. And I really want to see you engaging. Don't just say, this is great, because that feels like the nice thing to do in the moment, but that's not actually going to help your classmates get better. And actually giving good feedback to other people helps you become a better writer for yourself because it sharpens your critical eye. And so you'll be better at evaluating your own work by working on evaluating your classmates' work. So I'm not going to be giving you feedback this week. This will really be your chance to help each other to improve before you submit your final draft to me for evaluation. So really help each other out as much as possible, and let me know if you have any questions.